Hello. Welcome to the Smile Revolution. And I am Princess Wow. And this is Miss Wow. She's from a photo of me, and she has a smile bag like I do. Here it is right here. Wait, here we go. There's my smile bag back there. Anyway, she likes to get in on the action. She's a lot of fun. Anyway, we raise awareness to the healing power of a genuine smile. If you've never seen my show before, and if you have, well, this all started 2005. The last time I saw my dad conscious, he gave me a big grin, and that smile changed my life for the better because we had a very difficult relationship. And so that was very powerful for me. And so that's how this whole project started. And I am, let's see, a woman of many hats. I make hats. I'm a writer of one-woman shows. I'm a former radio show host at Kingston Radio, the Smile Revolution show. And I've done a lot of things with this project over the years. 2 Smile concerts, one with Pete Seeger, with Roland Musa, co-producing with me at the Barrowsville Theater, and many Smile albums, a bunch of projects. And then when this pandemic hit, I just started doing a Facebook Live to help people smile. And so this is my 156th show since March 20, but I didn't get back into doing interviews, which I did on my radio show, until like about, I don't know, a year or so ago, as I learned how to do this program, StreamYard. So anyway, I really enjoyed getting back into my interviews. And tonight I have a really exciting show with Peter Aaron. And I'll be telling you a little bit about him in a little bit. But first, let's see. I have a bunch of smile quotes and stuff. So, okay, Dr. Seuss said, "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind." And let's see. I have a smile. Does everybody have a smile jar? I made this. You can make one and write down all the things that help you smile. And one of the things I wrote was being with my cat, Tiggy, also known as the Queen of Wow II. And doing my show helps me smile, even though it's a lot to do, but I really enjoy it. And I know a lot of interesting people. So anyway, okay, here we go. Maya Angelou said, "If you have only one smile in you, give it to the people you love. Don't be surly at home. Then go out in the street and start grinning good morning at total strangers." And then, let's see, a sense of humor can help you overlook the unattractive, tolerate the unpleasant, cope with the unexpected, and smile through the unbearable. Moshe Wildox. And let's see. Find out where joy resides and give it a voice far beyond singing, for to miss the joy is to miss all. Robert Louis Stevenson. Growth itself contains the germ of happiness. Pearl S. Buck. Oprah said, "Happiness is there for the taking and making." Now, I don't smile all the time. Do you? Some people do, but it's about giving and receiving smiles. Sometimes you need to remind me to smile. And of course, it's smiling with love. I mean, there's a lot of fake smiles. I'm just talking about a genuine smile. Okay, so somebody is commenting. Stuart Millman. Oh, wait a second. Stuart Millman said, "Being with my cat makes me smile too." It's Karen's on Stuart. Okay, it's Karen on Stuart's Facebook. Okay, yeah. And there's a quote about being with a cat, spending time with a cat is never wasted. I love that quote. And anyway, and the reason why I wear all these colors, I think it's over the years, and which I've been doing since the 90s, is like to help uplift myself and others. And this is a picture. Sometimes I share this, a picture of me from the 90s. So you see, this is not anything new. Where I think people say I was one of the first people in New York to have colored hair. I probably was one of the first. Anyway, and then this quote I like, Charles Dickens: "Consider nothing impossible, then treat possibilities as probabilities." I really like that quote. I've always loved quotes my whole life, so this is kind of fun for me to be able to share them with you here. And then The World According to Mr. Rogers. Listening is a very active awareness of the coming together of at least 2 lives. Listening, as far as I'm concerned, is certainly a prerequisite of love. One of the most essential ways of saying I love you is being a receptive listener. Listening is where love begins, listening to ourselves and then to our neighbors. And then 365 ways to give thanks, one for every day of the year. Brenda Shoshana. Okay, wait. Okay. This pic looks kind of like Nina Hagen. Okay. Anyway, that photo was actually from Philip Seltzer. He was like my official photographer for 20 years and good friend, but he's passed on. And so I have a lot of amazing photos from him from the city. Okay, so practice patience today. When you feel hurried, restless, or pushy, stop, breathe, count to 10, and let things take their own course. We live in a world of immediate gratification where we expect to get what we want the minute we want it. Every day there is pressure to get where we're going twice as fast as we did yesterday. This takes a huge toll both on our nervous system and on our enjoyment of life. Today, when you find yourself hurried, pushed, or in a frenzy to get something done, slow down and just decide not to push the river, but to let it flow. Your patience will always be appreciated by another, and your own body will also be the beneficiary. Zen saying, why not just let the sun shine when it shines? Why not just let the rain fall when it rains? And let's see what else. Gumby wants to say hello too. He always likes to get in the action, give you a big hug and smile. So let's see. Do I have anything else to share with you? I think that maybe, here, I'll show you this. Okay. Find joy in each day. And then we need more fun and joy, don't you think? And then this, just have fun. We're just having fun. And I think that that's what I'm doing. I think that's good for today for my intro. And so Peter Aaron is my special guest. He's coming on in a moment. He's the author of If You Like the Ramones and the Band, FAQ, the co-author of Richie Ramone's autobiography, I Know Better Now, the arts editor of Chronogram magazine, the frontman of influential New York band the Chrome Cranks, and a member of the Stabbing Jabs, Peter Aaron, Brian Chase duo, and other musical projects. His writing has appeared in the Village Voice, the Boston Herald, the Kingston Daily Freeman, and other publications, and online at AllMusic and All About Jazz. He lives in the Hudson Valley. Oh, wait a second. Lobotomy? Okay. Anyway, I don't know why you said that, but okay, Maureen. Anyway, here comes Peter.
Princess Wow.
Hi, it's good to see you.
You. Here's my smile.
Okay, good. Well, only if it's genuine. You know, it has to be sincere.
Well, yeah, it's genuine. It's
okay, good. Okay,
totally
good.
From the heart. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, I hear you're a wonderful person, and you are a cat dad.
Well, one of those is definitely true. I can, I'll definitely stand by.
Well, that's what I hear.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm in fact, hopefully, my cats Frankie and Polly won't come in here and disrupt everything.
They can come on if they want. Tiggy comes on occasionally, but she's in the kitchen taking a nap.
You say that now, but wait till the terror begins, and you might.
Okay. Well, I am a big cat. I've always have cats. Anyway, Stuart or Karen said that's a Ramones song, Lobotomy. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. She said a wonderful cat dad. That's what I hear.
Oh, shucks.
That's important to me. That's
right.
Extremely good.
Well, my cats need to hear that, I think.
Yeah. So anyway, welcome to my show. And you have a radio show and podcast as well.
I do. Yes. I'm on Radio Kingston and WGXC. Mm-hmm. My show is called Go Go Kitty. And It is on every Wednesday night into Thursday morning, midnight to 2 a.m.
But you don't have to stay up to watch. You can listen on replay.
Yeah. It's archived at radiokingston.org and WGXC.org. And I also have a Facebook page called Go Go Kitty Radio Show and Podcast with Peter Aaron. And I post
I'm going to show all your information down here.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
All right. Okay, I'll leave it up for a minute or two. Okay, so and when did you start that in the pandemic, or when did it start?
No, I started probably, let's see. I mean, I'm in my third year just about now. So I started, almost 2 years before the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was on for a while, or it was at least it was over a year. And then during the pandemic, a lot of folks they were doing their shows from home, but I don't have the setup, and I'm a bit of a technophobe, so
Oh,
they
so
were
you still went into the studio?
yeah, when it was, deemed safe to do it, I started going to the studio again, but it was
Okay.
the archives were being played while I
Oh,
was
okay. Okay. For a while you had the archives. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And then I've been listening to it. It's a lot of it is like vintage, like rare and vintage rock and roll, right? Is that what you would say?
Yeah. That's kind of the sort of the tether for everything, and then I like to throw in some, hopefully unexpected and surprising tangents and curveballs, just to you know keep it interesting and unpredictable.
No, it is. It's so groovy. It's like so cool. And you know so much. I mean, you're so knowledgeable. It's like it's amazing all the things you know about the music world. I mean, it's a lot of it's like underground, right? Because a lot of them I don't know who they are, but it's right. But that's like your genre is like the underground music scene.
Yeah, I figure, that's sort of my role is to put the accent on the obscure, and obviously, you want to have some things in there that are going to be not too inside, and then are going to keep people's attention for, people that are maybe not deep diggers like I am, but also try and hip them to some things that they might have missed, and maybe look at some other styles and artists in different ways, within the context of other things, and maybe have more of an appreciation for them.
I
That's the
know,
way.
I love it. It's very cool. Yeah, so do you don't interview people every week though? It's like some weeks you interview musicians?
Yeah. It's a kind of a once in a while thing. I mean, usually I
Oh,
plan
okay.
the show out ahead of time. Once in a while, I'll do a show that I call Singles Going Crazy, where I just bring in a box of 45s. That's my favorite medium for music, is the 7-inch 45 RPM record. So I love to kind of just bring a box in and not really know what I have once in a while, and just kind of put it together in real time. But for the most part, it's planned out beforehand, and then once in a while I'll have a guest on.
Oh, okay. Okay,
You
but
know?
you actually spin records in the studio?
Yeah, I mean, I play I
Oh,
play some CDs and a few tracks here and there from streaming services. Although I lean hard toward actual records.
oh,
That's
that's cool. Oh, that's
Yeah.
really
I mean,
neat.
that's something I've just always I never let go of that. That's always how I
I'm
sort of
moving back now. Okay.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
that's
sort of
neat.
that's how I visualize, putting songs next to each other. It's just very tactile, I guess, but that's how it's been throughout my life. So I'm just comfortable doing it that way, and
But you
it's
know,
fun.
it's like you know about everything about every song. It's like you know about the when it was produced and when you recorded it. You just know they're so knowledgeable.
I
You
feel like
know?
I'm always learning. I feel like there's always so much that I don't know. So
And also a lot of it is, I find myself dancing. There's a lot of good dancing music.
oh, good. Yeah, the way the show it's not strictly like this, but usually I start out kind of more on the rockin' side, and then when I get into to this, it's a 2-hour show, and when I get
Right.
into the second hour, I tend to get more spacey and late night FM Venus flytrappy kind of.
No, I know. I like you have your side effects. It's like I feel like it's like the outer limits, kind of like you do like the twilights, kind of like those. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I figure like you're listening to the radio at home, or in the car. I DJ at clubs, out sometimes too, but that's a different kind of vibe, and it's kind of more of a head thing. It's more of a cerebral experience when you're listening at home. So I like to take people on a trip.
Hmm.
It's kind of the way I put it.
Yeah, it's neat. It's really neat. Okay, so and you lived in Cincinnati
Right,
for
right,
many. Like, so you're from New Jersey, and then your family you moved to Cincinnati.
Right. When I was 16, we moved to Cincinnati. My dad took a job out there.
And
And
so yeah, okay, uh-huh.
and so that's where I mainly was. I went to college in Boston for a couple years in the middle of the 80s. I went to BU from 83 to 85. So I
And
had
so
that,
uh-huh.
but Ohio is kind of, yeah, that's where I look at Cincinnati as being my real hometown, the area that really shaped me.
Well, I told you I went to OU, Ohio University in
Oh,
Athens.
right. Yeah, well,
And the truth is that people think, "Oh, the Midwest is so boring and, like, not cool," but I thought it was really groovy. I, like, met all these amazing people, and it was, like, very cool place. I mean, I really enjoyed it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it was a real culture shock when I moved there because I moved right at the age where I was starting to go into New York City and I was starting to be, obviously New
Oh,
York, the
right, because you were in New
center of everything.
Jersey, right.
Yeah, yeah. I was taking the bus in to go to Max's Kansas City and
Oh,
CBG was,
right, so yeah,
yeah,
mhm.
and Danceteria and all, and I was sort of ripped away from that because
Right.
I was too young. But within a year, I started being in Ohio. I started to look back. I came back to visit New Jersey, and it felt very needlessly frantic and uh, unsubstantive. And one thing that really hit me about, especially doing anything that's sort of edgy and outsiderish in Midwestern Ohio, is that it meant more to do that. It meant more. New York. There's obviously uh, the media covers a lot of uh, alternative culture, artistic elements, and to do that in somewhere like Cincinnati, Ohio, it was braver, and it like I said, it seemed like it meant more to do it.
Oh,
So
that's
that
cool,
was
that's right, that's
a
great,
more
yeah.
genuine kind of experience.
But so I know you've always been writing. You went to school for journalism. I mean, I've always been a writer and a musician, right? So when did you start playing music?
I started playing when I was 15 years old. This was still when I was still in New Jersey.
Hmm.
I was in one of the first hardcore punk bands in New Jersey. It's a band called Sand in the Face, we got the name from the old Charles Atlas ads that used to be in comic books. Do you
Hmm.
remember? Kick the bully, kick sand in my face. So I ordered the Charles Atlas workout guide or whatever, and
Okay.
we were obviously kids. We were teens. We were teenagers. We were really into comic books and that. So that's where that came from. But yeah, so I started playing in Sand in the Face when I was 15, and then a year after that, we moved to Ohio, and I was in the first hardcore punk band in Cincinnati, although they had started before I joined the band, a band called Sluggo.
Hmm.
It's an archival album of Sluggo music that just came out. Uh, People should look for that. It's on the 4Q HQ record label. And then I was a couple years going to college in Boston, and was very much wrapped up in the music scene there. And then came back to Cincinnati, and I had done a fanzine when I was a teenager, and that's sort of what I was always comfortable writing in high school, but writing about music, that's kind of where that started. And
Uh-huh.
through the contacts that I had from the fanzine and the radio shows that I was doing on community radio stations out there, I started booking bands.
Oh, right, right.
So I booked clubs, and this was in the mid to late 80s, into the very beginning of the 90s. So I booked, like Nirvana to like 25, 30 people on their first tour, and
That's amazing. I know, that's incredible.
Zombie,
The
Flaming Lips.
Flaming Lips, White Zombie. I know, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so cool. That's really neat. So how did you get okay, so when did you move to New York and how did you get up to the Hudson Valley?
Well, I started a band in Cincinnati called the Chrome Cranks
Right.
in 1988. And it was for a couple of years, just kind of kicking around more as an idea than an actual band. We couldn't really keep a steady lineup together.
Okay.
And it was mainly I sang and played guitar and wrote the songs, and there was another guitarist and the two of us moved to New York and started the band there in 1992. So we did that for a few years. We made records and toured a lot, and the band worked really hard and wore ourselves out and broke up in 1998. And that was around the time where I met my now former wife. We lived in Hackensack for a couple of years and wanted to get out of horrible, congested Bergen County, and bought a house in Saugerties, and we're there for a couple of years, and we went our separate ways, and I've been here ever since, and love it. It's a great place to live, and there's so much terrific art and culture here. I'm very happy to be part of that too.
Well, you're part of the whole scene because you're writing for the Chronogram. You're the arts editor.
Yeah,
so you're like in the center of the whole scene.
Current issue.
For people who don't know the Chronogram, it's the magazine, the free magazine, which has been around for how long?
It was going for a few years before I started. I came on board in 2006. I want to say 1995, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
94, 95.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm very proud to be a part of it, and very happy when I can write about things that helps and gets the word out about cool stuff that's going on.
I know, and there's so much going on up here.
It is. There's
great.
Never enough room to contain it all, which is a good problem to have.
So do you decide what you're going to cover, what bands you're going to cover, or do they tell you what they, or it's probably up to you, right? Or is it a combination?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Know? Yeah. I mean, sometimes I'll pitch things to my editor. Sometimes they'll bring things to me.
That they want you to cover. Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll sort of, run it up against other things that are potentially going to be covered and see what fits together. And it's sort of a communal decision.
But right, that's great.
I'm subordinate since I'm not the editor, the main editor. So
right. And you also, I know you always have an ad. I know you help bands and musicians and artists do like their one sheet, and you do all that, which is great.
Yeah, that's something I got into. I write band bios for their one sheets and for their promotional materials, and that's something I got into. I obviously get sent a lot of CDs and records that by artists looking for trying to get their music reviewed,
right?
And so much of it is the one sheet press kit materials that come with it. It's maybe somebody in the band wrote it, or they got their kid sister to write it because she did composition class or something, and it sort of hit me that a lot of these folks need help, and I'm a musician, so I can relate, and I'm a self-taught musician. I'm not my three chords have served me well, but I have a feel for what it's like, I think, to be someone doing it. And
that's great. I think that's really great. Okay, so I know you do interview people through your through the Chronogram. You do interviews through the Chronogram?
Yeah, occasionally. Yeah.
Or through other publications? Oh, yeah, because you write for other publications too.
Yes, yeah, I do.
Right, over the years, yeah. So so Pete Seeger.
Yes,
I read that you did interview him.
I did,
and that happened because of Roland Musa.
Yes, I'm extremely thankful to Roland for
introducing me to Pete.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite interviews or articles that I've ever written, and it was a real kind of surreal honor to.
That's so great. Yeah, I know. I read that you really wanted to meet Pete and interview him. I know, so that's wonderful. Yeah.
That was, and it was beyond my expectations. What a fantastic, inspiring human being he was.
Yeah,
continues.
Really, yeah. I know. I mean, I was so fortunate to be close with him because of Roland, and being around him was just changed my life. I mean, he's so much, as you know, he's such an inspiring person to be around.
Yeah, we just can't really put it into words.
I know, right?
So genuine, yeah. But that was maybe a year before he passed, I think.
He passed in 2014, January 2014.
Yeah. I think he was 94 at the time. I remember that. But that was a great year for me because I interviewed Sonny Rollins that year also. So that was
Yeah, that's great.
two of obvious certified legends.
So yeah, Russ, Karen or Stu, I think it's Karen on Stewart's thing. She said, "What a cool full circle." I know that is really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Roland wanted to be on the show live tonight, but he wasn't able to. But he'll watch it later.
Oh.
He wanted to come on and say hi, but okay.
Oh yeah, well, that would have been great. Well, I'm sorry he couldn't be here, but tell him.
Yeah, I know.
Hi.
He told me last night he wished he could have, but he had a meeting. He couldn't come.
Gotcha. Wow.
Yeah, so I'll tell him, or he'll watch the show too. And then, see, I read something that you wrote about when you wrote the book about the band.
Oh yeah,
and I really like that what you wrote here. I'm going to share this quote that you wrote. You said, "I want them to get the sense when it comes to the band that the past is just as contemporary as the present. They embody that real art and stories never get old. They're always alive and living in the present."
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love that quote of yours. I just love that.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, that's one thing that I've always felt strongly about that. If something, I mean, obviously the way of looking at a piece of art can change depending on the context that you're viewing it from within. But yeah, if it's really good, it will resonate in some way always. And that's certainly applies to the band.
Yeah.
Which is actually this is the.
Now, when did you write that? Karen likes that. It's a great quote. It's a great quote.
Thank you, Karen.
Yeah.
Somebody's watching. This came out in 2016.
Okay.
No.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, that was because I didn't know all that much. I knew kind of the basic facts about the band before, and I had the albums but I didn't. Yeah, it was a learning experience. So that was a very interesting project to do.
But you met Levon. You went to the Rambles, right?
I did. Yeah. I got to interview Levon before he passed, and
okay,
that was a high point as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're just really kind of digging into it and learning more about obviously the Woodstock, Saugerties area where they were based.
Right.
It was a very, very interesting process, and seeing the connections between the music that influenced them and the music that they influenced.
Yeah, I've been to the Big Pink. I've been to the Big Pink because I know the owners.
Well, you match.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it was cool to be able to go there and spend time there.
Yeah, I think it's a B&B. They run it as a B&B now.
Oh, they do? Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's neat too. That's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's not cheap to stay there.
Well, because it's so historical. I'm sure. Yeah, it's like historical to be able to spend time there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's definitely.
Oh, well, that's neat. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So during the pandemic, though, what were you doing? Like, except because I know for a while you couldn't do your radio show, right?
No, the Radio Kingston and WGXC were playing the archives of earlier shows done then. I was working at home, still writing for Chronogram.
Okay, so you were basically writing most of the time, right?
Yeah. Like a lot of folks, I had all these big plans or projects I was going to tackle during my time. It seemed like it didn't really happen. There's
right. So I just started performing and helping people smile, as I said at the beginning. But that's I mean, and I was getting dressed up, and that helped me cope because I was
with nowhere to go.
I was on my show. Like I was dressed up for 20 minutes. I would do like 20-minute shows, and I would do dance parties and promote my musician friends and baking shows. And I would but for me, it was like getting dressed up when I do the shows helped me and helping, people smile. So that's how I got through it.
That's great.
But thank God I had my cat too.
Yeah. Well, they help a lot for sure.
Yeah. They're good company.
Yeah.
And so, Barbara Walters passed on recently.
Right.
And I was watching a special about her. And I picked up a couple ideas from her. So I'm actually going to share a couple questions that she would ask. It just me. I feel like I just wasn't so inspired by that.
Okay.
So two things she used to ask people. Okay, so I'm going to use her quote. Okay, Peter Aaron is.
Oh, and I have to fill in the blank. Um, let's see. Peter Aaron is overwhelmed and always learning. I hope.
Okay.
He hopes.
Okay. All right. Well, you can shift that when you feel overwhelmed. You can turn that thought that you know declare that you're not. Like, you can shift your thought out of that.
Okay.
Because sometimes when I feel that way too, you can. It's all in your own thought, like how you perceive what's going on. So you can shift out of that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. That need to remind. We all need to remind ourselves of that.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
Yeah. Because we all have moments we feel overwhelmed.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So this is from Barbara Walters too.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Maureen said she's a music publicist, Maureen De Pietoso. She said, I like the show tonight very much. Good.
Oh, Maureen. Wow.
You know Maureen?
I don't believe
Okay.
that.
Maureen was Sid Bernstein's publicist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She's a really good friend of mine. So,
wow.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, and she brought, when I did my second Smile Revolution concert at the Le Poisson Rouge in Greenwich Village, she brought Sid Bernstein.
Wow.
And Sid came because he loved Roland. And he loved Roland's music and loved Roland. So that's what he told me. He said, I came to see Roland. Isn't that neat?
Hey, it got him there. That's great.
Yeah. And I was fortunate to meet Sid. I went to his apartment and everything. And that was really such an honor to meet Sid.
Wow. Yeah.
I know. It was it was something being with him.
Yeah, I bet. Wow.
Yeah, that was incredible. Okay. So this is from Barbara Walters too.
Okay.
Okay. The best time of your life and the worst.
Wow. Boy, the best time. See, that's tricky because when you say the best time of your life, you automatically think back to something from the past, which isn't a healthy thing to do, is it? Because then if you look at it like that, then you look at it like, well, the best times are already over. So, and then if you say the best times are yet to come, that sounds sort of like corny and
hokey. Yeah, kind of hokey. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of hokey and the best times are when I'm caught up in doing something creative. How about that? In the moment.
I agree with you.
Yeah. And the worst times, let's see. The worst times are times that you'll get through.
You mean that are challenging?
Yeah, but I mean, what I mean is that they'll pass, and they have passed. So I don't want to look back and focus on some particular time that was the worst time in my life, or
I mean, we all have them. We all have.
Yeah, we all have them. I just think that there's certainly been low points like there is for anybody else. But
well, was the pandemic really hard for you?
That was pretty lousy. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it was not fun, but at the same time, it could have been a lot worse. That's the way I looked at it the whole time. Was at least, I work from home anyway, so I'm used to being here.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess I felt like, well, hey,
you just kept writing, and it wasn't really that much different for you.
Yeah. And I looked at other people that were really going through really difficult stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially people that had to be out there working in the middle of it.
I know. It's amazing that I know. It's incredible.
Obviously, the healthcare and healthcare workers, I mean, boy, how could I feel bad about my situation at all compared to them?
Right. Yeah.
Just figure like, look, I'm here. I got the computer. I got TV. I got
You got your
records.
kitty cats.
Got my
You got all
cats.
your music. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, I mean, yeah, it sucks being able to not see people and go out to events and all of that.
Right.
That's
Right.
the worst part of it.
Right. Right.
And the fact that it obviously economically was impacted in a negative way. A lot of businesses and the livelihoods of people, and we lost a lot of great places to go to in
Right.
Hudson
I know. Right. Yeah.
Valley, you know.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're finally clawing our way back out of that.
Yeah, and there's silver linings. There were so many silver linings during the pandemic. So many new things started and a lot of great ideas and Zoom, and there's a lot of stuff that happened that were really good too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Even though it was a very hard time and a lot of people passed on and so it was really hard, but then there was a lot of good things.
Yeah. I mean,
So there's a lot of good, yeah.
Obviously it was overwhelmingly a negative period, in across the board, but I could have had it a lot worse, and so
Right, yeah.
I didn't feel it didn't feel natural or right for me to be that depressed about stuff I couldn't do anything about.
Right. And what I always say, what helps you smile is being grateful for what you do have.
Yes, yeah, and
If you can remember, not that I can always remember, but when I do, it's like it's easier to be happier and smile.
yeah, and sometimes you really have to make a conscious effort to remind yourself of that. And usually,
Right.
Yeah. Usually, that's something I lose touch with all the time, but could be a lot worse.
Right. Well, you have a fascinating life because, with being the arts editor, and you're always, meeting people and amazing artists. And we have so many amazing people in the Hudson Valley and all the concerts. So it's really, you're like at the center of the whole scene.
Yeah.
That's how I see it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely, it feels really great to be a part of everything and to be able to help when I can. I wish I could be more helpful and had a bigger outlet and more different areas to be helpful within. But I do what I can with what I have available to me, and
which is great. Yeah,
it's fun. Yeah.
Karen said, "Thank you for acknowledging healthcare workers."
Oh yes, can't do that enough.
Yeah.
Sure. So one thing, well, besides the radio show I mentioned coming up in related to what we were just talking about, it's Mark Shue, my friend Mark Shue, who's the bass player in Guided by Voices. He and I are launching a Noise Salon series at Greenkill, which is an art space on Greenkill Avenue in Kingston, uptown Kingston. It's called Noise Salon, and the first event will be March 10th. And the idea is it's a curated series, and we bring together us, the two of us, Mark Shue and I, and a couple other handpicked musicians, and we draw numbers out of a hat, and that determines the order that we start playing and the order that we stop playing. It's a collective improvisation, and it's really fun. Mark had started the series, and he was doing it in Brooklyn for a few years before he moved to Kingston during the pandemic, actually. And we decided to start it up again here, and it's a really fun event. And so March 10th at Greenkill is going to be the first installment, and then
great.
Yeah, so the first night, still figuring out the lineup, but I'll be playing guitar, Mark Shue from Guided by Voices on bass, Brian Chase, who's the drummer in Yeah Yeah Yes.
Right.
He'll be playing drums, and Matt Motel, who's a keyboardist that lives in Beacon. Actually, he was in a group called Taliban. So he's going to be playing too, and probably be a couple, probably 2, maybe 3 more people. It's coming together now. So that's going to be.
What day of the week is that?
It is a Friday, if I remember correctly. Yes, Friday.
Okay.
March 10th.
Okay, great.
It's going to be live streamed also on Green Kill does live stream of all their events. So my Facebook, I'll be promoting the heck out of that once it solidifies.
Okay, great. Okay, good. Is there anything else to wrap this up? Was there anything else that you wanted to say?
Let's see. I'm working on a book now about Rick Ocasek.
That's what I was going to ask you. Are you working on another book, or what are you doing?
Yeah. So that's a real
from the Cars.
From the Cars, yeah. That's been very interesting, and it's been definitely a lot of digging and work. He's a public person and very well known, but also kept a lot of his background well hidden.
Oh, really? Oh, so he passed on though, right?
He did, yeah, 2019. Yeah,
that's what I thought. Maureen said the Cars are great.
They are, yes.
Yeah, really cool. Oh, so did you meet him? Did you know him?
No, I never met him.
Okay.
It's interesting because besides being, I was a fan, when the first couple records came out, and they're a big band for me. He produced Suicide. He produced the Bad Brains. Those are 2 of my all-time favorite bands. I see him last time I'd see him out. I saw him out at CBGB's. That was the last time I saw him, but I never got to meet him.
So did you
enigmatic dude?
What?
Enigmatic dude.
Did you meet anybody in the? How are you? So you're just doing research, not just, but if you're researching and then you're writing a book from your research.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Interviewing people along the way.
Who knew them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
oh, that's neat. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. It's very, very interesting.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm so glad that we did this tonight. I'm really grateful to learn all about you.
Well, thank you so much, Princess Wow, for having me on. It's very fun.
Oh, yeah, good. I'm glad. Everybody always says they like being on my show because it's so fun.
It's totally fun. Yeah. How could it not be? Come on.
Oh, thank you. Okay, well, great. I'm so glad. So I'll be seeing you soon.
All right.
And
I hope so.
You'll be seeing me tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm
right? Yeah, I think I'll be seeing you. Yeah.
I'm playing music tomorrow actually with some folks, so I'm not going to be
Oh, you're not coming. Oh, you're not coming to the Oh, okay.
I could. But
that's okay. All right, so I'll see you soon. Well, I'll be seeing you around with Karen.
I hope so.
Karen said, "What a fun interview." Okay, good. Thank you.
I agree.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Okay, well, thanks so much, and I'll be seeing you around, and we'll talk later. Okay.
You mentioned my band, The Stabbing Jabs, which is some old Cincinnati friends of mine. We recorded a record that we're finishing putting together, and we're going to be shopping that around. So.
Oh, good. Oh, and Maureen said, "Thanks for such a wonderful show."
Thanks, Maureen.
Okay, great, Maureen. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming live. A lot of people watch after, in the replay.
Sure, yeah. I know how that is.
I'm grateful whoever comes live,
For sure. Thank you to everybody out
there. Okay, great. All right, so we'll be talking soon, I'm sure.
Okay.
Okay, take care. Okay.
Great. Thanks so much,
bye.
Princess.
I'm going to do my credits.
Okay.
My
all right.
signing off credits. Okay. Bye. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Sounds like you did in live, and I'm sure you whoever watches in replay, I appreciate as well. And I'm going to sign off. Oh, I have to tell you all though, my next show, I'm now doing Thursdays at 8:00 Eastern time. I may add a Saturday show here and there if it's somebody in London. But next week I'm going to be live in the city. My friend, I was photographed by this well-known photographer, Robbie Quinn, I'm not in this book because I met him after the book was published, but it's called Street Unicorns, and I'm a street unicorn. That's what he calls us. So anyway, Robbie Quinn is doing an event in the East Village next Thursday night during my show. So he said I could definitely film it, and I could hopefully get a quick little interview with him. We'll see. We're going to play that by ear, and hopefully he'll come on even for a minute. But I'm going to cover the event. It's going to be really cool. So that's my next show, and hope you all can join. And I love you all. Keep smiling, keep sweet, join the Smile Revolution. And I'm going to sign off now with my credits. If I can find them. I'm kidding. Okay. See you soon. Bye. It's called the Smile Revolution that comes, goes round and back to you. So smile, 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 a simple smile.